Yo, welcome everyone back to CCA with some more week 2 action. This is Vapor with Mewtwo. TZS Takeover once more. We're going to start out on Clan Blitz Museum de Alfonsino with the unidentified Flyfish Outbreak out of UT Dallas and Vermillion Tides out of the University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
Right. I'm very excited to see these two teams fight because they have some decorated history within CCA. We have UFO going 3-2 in the CCA entrance exam groups. And we have Vermillion Tides actually going 3-2 in their last CCA league. So I think they're trying to look for some redemption, don't you think?
Yeah, but Vermillion Tides, they were placed in Division 2 last season, ended up going 3-2, making it all the way down to semifinals. And then they showed themselves even more in entrance exam, going 4-1 in groups, getting 9th place overall through the gold bracket. So Vermillion Tides has a lot of potential, just looking at how they've done previously in CCA statistics here. But again, unidentified Flyfish Outbreak out of UT Dallas. This is a rebrand of your Neo Comet Blasters team that we saw last season, where they ended up going 1-5 in Division 1 group stage. They ended up in the first place in the bronze bracket of March Madness 2 and went 2-3 in Division B of Season 1 for CCA. So this UT Dallas team has a lot of experience. Let's see how well this experience pays up against Vermillion Tides here.
Yeah, on the side of UT Dallas, we have a Track-On Roller, a Custom Splattershot Junior, a Forge, and a Custom Jet Squelcher. On the side of Vermillion Tides, we have a Splatana Wiper, a Splash, a regular Splat Roller, and a Heavy. I'm very excited to see how both of these rollers play, but as we see, the Splat Roller already goes down on the side of Vermillion Tides. Rico down on the side of Vermillion Tides, and it looks like UT Dallas has enough clams to actually just make an opening push before 1 minute of the game even passes.
Yeah, they get the score in, but can they get any follow-up? It's only the Pro and the Jet Sculpture last alive. The Jet does find some follow-up. Pro ends up going down. 62 points remaining, getting shut down by Dino on the Splash here. Roller versus Roller 1v1, and it's going to be the Crack-On Roller from the side of UT Dallas that's going to come up on top of that fight.
Yeah, I just think that Vermillion Tides had a really good defense, not letting it get past 60 at least, but as we see, they're having a lot of trouble getting back into mid. They already go 2 down, and it looks like they might even go 3 down. The ball is heavy, has to push back. He has no support on him, and it looks like he's so weak, and he loses the fight. But it just kind of looks like Vermillion Tides is just kind of locked into mid. They can't even push forward.
Yeah, Vermillion Tides just trying to get back in, and this is their opportunity. They had a few members go down, but they're playing so patient here. They're giving up so much space, and with a Junior and a Jet Sculpture on the other side, that's a lot of paint right there, and zoning power, constant zoning power to say the least, where it just makes it so hard for Vermillion Tides to push in here. Wiper on this right side, trying to make a play. One going down, that's another going down. Trying to have help from the teammates. That's 3 down on the side of UT Dallas, and it's going to be Vermillion Tides trying to find the push, but there's going to be one from behind. They end up going down, but that just slows down everything that Vermillion Tides had going on.
They didn't see the beacon behind them when they started to push. That allowed UT Dallas to just impede their push and maybe even stop it. They didn't even make a power clam, and the one who did make a power clam almost didn't even make it. We see the Forge being such a good defensive player. Here we see them trying to pay mid. They're trying to get back in there. They have the Booyah Bomb ready, which will be a great opening. One goes down on the side of Vermillion Tides, but then again the Forge goes down. They lose that Booyah Bomb, but 2 go down on the side of Vermillion Tides now, and honestly, Vapor, I don't even know if they can make a comeback. And I know I'm saying this with 2 minutes left, but judging by the way that UT Dallas is playing, I just think they secured the bag here.
It's still a little bit early, as you just say. So anything can change. We still have just under 2 minutes remaining, not including any possible overtime. UT Dallas trying to make a push up this right side, but it's going to be the hammer getting taken down on the side. Vermillion Tides bubble getting popped out. That's two down on each side here, but a power clam needs to be made for UT Dallas. They do find the power clam. Wiper finds a pick. They get one additional point, but that's going to be a staggered wipe here. Pushing up is the Wiper, trying to fight the Junior. Crack on Roller's also there. Crack on Roller super weak in the corner and ends up coming out with a trade in that situation. That's really huge for the Roller, but it slows down Vermillion Tide so much. They lost a member and they need to find a way to make a push. There's only 1 minute left on the clock. Heavy has this power clam. Junior ends up going down and they're going for the push. They find the score, but where is the follow-up?
It looks like the Splash has the follow-up, and they do get the lead. The Splash, ooh, dies to the stray torpedo. But as you can see, they used the pity clam that UT Dallas gave them, which was pretty good. I mean, honestly, I kind of disagreed with UT Dallas trying to score there, because not only did you only get 1 point on the board, you just gave them a free pity that they used to push and get the lead on you. But it looks like they have 3 specials on the deck. Wavebreaker's being used by this custom junior. He might go down here. They used the storm. I think they're using the specials a bit too early, especially one of them goes down, but they're not even on their spinner yet.
Yeah, Vermillion Tides is holding this backline super well. That's probably the best thing with heavy splatling. You could just have a lot of suppression on where you can fire at. But the biggest thing right now is that that suppression is so far back, where it's so hard to push up. Here comes that Kraken from UT Dallas, unable to find anything. We are now in overtime. Heavy trying to hold this splat as much as possible. About 10 seconds left of overtime. Roller trying to push up, but gets stuck in the corner. Here comes that Booyah Bomb. A play needs to be made, but it doesn't look like there's enough time around the backside. Unable to get that power clam in, and this first game is going in favor of Vermillion Tides.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong when I said that UT Dallas had that in the bag, but I think what was the real turning point was like we kind of talked about, UT Dallas getting that unnecessary power clam in, especially if they didn't have any follow-up on there. You just give the opposing team a free pity clam, and they just used that, and they got extra mileage out of that clam than you guys did. And so I really like the way that UFO played in the first half, but maybe in the second half they could stop being a bit too extra with how they push. They should just kind of cool their jets and just relax. If you have a lead, hold it, and then if you see the opportunity, get some more in. Don't just start throwing. Don't just push just to push. You know, make it count, make it worthwhile, because you're gonna be going down. You might as well make it count for a few seconds.
And the base thing about Splatoon, you know this as a player, is that it's not the consistent pressure you apply, because that consistent pressure definitely goes to UT Dallas in that game, but it's about making do on what you have at that correct time, and that's what Vermillion Tides did super well. They only had one push, and that one push brought them all the way to enough points to take the lead and close out the game.
Yeah, now we're gonna go to Splat Zone's Mako Mart. Honestly, Vapor, do you think we're gonna see any comp changes here? With the way that these teams have been running their comps, I don't really think there's much to be changed, I suppose.
We may see the junior switch over to a blobber, a little bit more paint, a little bit more range, and it's really good for the geometry of the stages too. Just a lot of pressure that can be applied out for UT Dallas there. But honestly, I expect this to be a really scrappy matchup here on Zones Mako.
Yeah, with the way UT Dallas is able to consistently pressure, I think it's more of an advantage here because zones is just stationary. You don't need to move it anywhere. Like you don't need to, like tower control. You don't need to move alongside or clan blitz where you need to actively push into the opponent's space to get objective down. You can just paint your zone, go pressure the enemy snipe, or go into the far right side and pressure from there, and then that's all you need to do. You can let that timer tick down, and I think that's one of UT Dallas's strengths, like you said, that consistent pressure.
Mm-hmm. And it's, can you stay up long enough to keep that pressure going without going down and giving the other team any potential options to move forward? And that's one thing that we need to look out for from Vermillion Tides. They switch it off that heavy. Now we see the Explo, and that's a lot more paint for Vermillion Tides here.
Holy cow, they must really love splat zones and their painting weapons. We see so much paint from both sides. I can't wait to see how they use it, but one goes down, one go down on each side. We see the Blobber trying to desperately try and get this splash, but he's not going to find it. The Flinks goes down on the side of UT Dallas, and it looks like right now that Vermillion Tides is in control. We haven't seen this in the Clan Blitz game until like the second half, but now they're going on to a very strong start. Oh, except for that small mistake by the X-Blosher.
Not the Ink Storm. Slow weapons in a slowly moving damage control area is so hard to fight and so hard to stay alive. They did so well, but just ended up just short of that survivability, as UT Dallas trying to find the cap on the zone, but it's going to be the Wiper fighting the pick on the blob. 2 down on the side of Vermillion Tides here, and just this pure paint control. And I want to say again, it's the X-Blosher just holding in the back lines, applying so much paint on the zone that Vermillion Tides can't really make any pushes, but they're holding so strong.
You see the Wiper get 3. That was an amazing slash. Can he find the Flinksa? No, he cannot, but this just opened the door for Vermillion Tides to just get back the zone again. They have been so in control this entire game. It's so different. And I think the difference is that they have so much aggression on their side. Meanwhile, UT Dallas doesn't really have much. I mean, yeah, you have an NZAP and a T-Tech, but like, what's that compared to a Splash, a T-Tech, and a Splatana Wiper? One goes down on the side of UT Dallas. They are constantly staggered. 2 go down, but if they can't even coordinate special together, how are they going to get back into the zone? And they really need to get back into that zone right now.
And it's also the Wiper that's just always up there. The Wiper keeps trying to go around the left side of the spawn, and they just keep getting punished, but they're able to pull sights of like 3 different people. Yes, it's only the Wiper last one alive now. They find the pick with the hammer, but it's the staying alive pressure. The Wiper is still up here, and UT Dallas can't do anything about them.
This Wiper's going insane right now. He picks the blob. 3 go down on the side of UT Dallas. I think this Splatana Wiper is single-handedly saving Vermillion Tides right now, and they get the entire wipe. We see the hammer ready. I want to see a sick hammer throw right now, because what we have seen from this Splatana Wiper is nothing short of perfection. We see him immediately starting to go around that right side and start pressuring UT Dallas, and at this point, with the timer so low and the stress building up, what can you do?
Yeah, just the Wiper always around those ledges, finding 2, finding 3. It's only the Zap last one alive. Here comes those Super Chumps, but they're in the 3v1 with the Super Chumps trying to help, but they won't explode in time to put down paint pressure. And that's going to be Vermillion Tides taking the second game as well.
That was not even close. I'm just gonna say that. Honestly, it looked promising at the start, but UT Dallas just couldn't find a way in, honestly. They couldn't find a way in, and they couldn't pressure Vermillion Tides the same way that they did to them, and so... And major MVP of Vermillion Tides is definitely that Splatana Wiper. He just got so many great picks, and I'm so glad we got to see his POV. He must be very happy right now with how he has played.
Yeah, like, Raphael on the Splatana Wiper. Just insane movement, exactly where they needed to be at every single point. Play around that right side. Pull eyes. At one point, there was probably 2 or 3 people just looking at them, and no one going towards the zone. Maybe one person on the snipe area, but that distraction slowed down UT Dallas from pushing any further.
Yeah, and we're gonna start going into tower control eel tail, but with the way UT Dallas is playing, I think they're gonna need to kick it up a notch with the way I think they need to play the way they played in game one with those constant staggered downs and those pressure after pressure after pressure. And I don't really know what went wrong. I just think they just couldn't coordinate specials and they just got overran by the aggressive Splatana Wiper. And I think they're going to need to start working a lot better. But if you're on the side of Vermillion Tides, honestly, just send Raphael in there. What are they going to do? They don't.
Mhm.
As long as they don't know how to deal with him for now, you could just let him run amok. And since you're up 2-0, you could definitely allow him to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, especially on Eel Tail Tower. In the dock we have, we know that Raphael can play Wiper and Stamper as a skirmisher. We know nothing else if there's a brush in the pocket. All we know is a Wiper and Stamper. Both of those are extremely good for Eel Tail, especially on tower control.
Yeah, and I think with those with those ultra stamps, he'll just be able to just rush into the enemy base, and if he just wants to throw it up on the bridge, hey, just let him. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
what's stopping Raphael right now? Honestly, can someone tell me? Because I don't think there's anything stopping this man right now.
Yeah, like it's going to be really hard. I do want to see that Stamper come out. Zipcaster zipping to the walls, trying to get behind and cause distractions, especially in the very narrow area as well, which is basically what Yulta Alley is. It's just an alley that's a little bit wider than what you're normally used to, but it's still very narrow in the long run. We see the Wiper come out, but what affects the Wiper in this matchup here? Clash Blaster has Zuka, but it needs the paint from the Blob and Flings it to work really well.
I don't know if this is their answer. But to go down inside of Vermillion Tides off the rip. Here we see the Splatana desperately backing up Raphael. No, he goes down. We see the Flingza getting ready for that missiles. He is just waiting. He's getting on tower. Oh, he got off. But as we see, look at this pressure immediately. We see the missiles come out. The Wiper goes down on the side of Vermillion Tides, and it looks like Vermillion Tides is just kind of scattered right now. They can't really coordinate something to get a good defense up. But as I said, 3 go down on the side of UT Dallas, but 2 go down on the side of Vermillion Tides. It looks like 3 might go down. This Flingza's now starting to be the MVP.
Oh my god!
What's going on?
Silly.mp4 Flingza might actually be the call here. You have the mines to place around, mark your opponents as they run over them, and you have the missiles. The recon of the missiles lets you know where everyone is on the map at all possible times. And being able to get up close, having a long range vertical swing as well, that can basically outrange the Wiper. Man, the Flingza might actually be the weapon that they want to pick against this Wiper player of Raphael.
Right. And we see 1 go down on the side of Vermillion Tides. But it looks like 3 go down on the side of Vermillion Tides. Looks like UT Dallas has successfully stopped this push. And now it seems like they're getting ready for that counter push. We see the Flingza on the tower. They're starting to stagger Vermillion Tides right now. 3 are down on the side of Vermillion Tides, and it looks like they're not really. And it looks like UT Dallas shows no signs of stopping right now.
Flingza ends up going down. Zuka is ready to go for this Clash Blaster. Here comes the Zuka, but that's going to be a quick wipeout. And man, that push from UT Dallas, it had potential, but it just got shut down super quickly from Vermillion Tides. Crab Tank from the top left area, throwing those bomb shots. 2 members end up going down. A counter Crab Tank from UT Dallas, but how much is that going to help out?
We see Vermillion Tide slowly pushing. Can they get the lead? It looks like they're just stuck at 43, and there's a wipeout on the side of Vermillion Tides. UT Dallas has single-handedly saved their push. They have single-handedly saved their lead, and looks like everyone's jumping back into mid. We see one member of Vermillion Tides trying to go up to the bridge. We see the Clash Blaster holding onto that Trizuka. They want to wait for an open line of sight, and here he comes. We see 1, we see 2. Can he get a 3? Oh, he got one with the 3rd one, but he goes down to the Wiper. Oh my goodness, Vapor, this is a real slobber knocker if I had to say so myself.
Yeah, just so much pressure, so much scrappiness. This is what I expected more so in the Mako Mart game, but man, so much back and forth pressure. Splash ends up going down with that special of the Crab Tank on the line. But the opposing Splash goes down. That's 3 down. It's only the Blob left alive on the side of UT Dallas. Here comes the hammer, and it gets canceled out by the Blob.
But the Blob goes down and the heavy's on the tower. It looks like Vermillion Tides has gotten back the lead. One goes down on the side of UT Dallas. One goes down on the side of Vermillion Tides, and it looks like the Wayburger's on the tower, providing the heavy an extra shield. We see the Crab Tank come out. We see a jump to the Crab. It's the T-Tech, but I think they could still keep this push going. They take down 1. They might take down 2. It looks like
the Wiper goes in. The Wiper gets it, but ends up going down to the Blob. Clash Blaster saving from the back side. 9 points remaining. A few jumps coming in, unable to get any extra points on the board, but there's only 40 seconds left on the clock. UT Dallas has to push this coast to coast effectively, and with these missiles coming out, you need to find your opponents and work together to make a move to where they are. The hammer from Raphael finds the pick onto the Crab Tank, but everything is going downhill for UT Dallas. Zuka finds 1, Zuka finds 2. It's only the Splash last alive and ends up going down to him. The Clash ends up going down. Splash is stuck here in the corner, but that's a lot of eyesight and slows down the push extremely long. Here comes the missiles, but you have to watch the top left as well. It's only the Wiper last alive, and it has a delayed wipe here. Splash out of spawn, Blob on this tower, tries to keep pressure. 1 goes down, Splash trying to push everyone else off. That's another delayed wipe, but the Splash is already back in, trying to win a 1v1 on tower, but that is unable to get it.
Oh, I really thought UT Dallas had that. I think they really need to pick the guy on the top left, and they would have potentially just secured that game, but the relentlessness of Vermillion Tides to just make it 3-0 in their favor. And honestly, I don't mind if this goes to a Game 7, because UT Dallas, it seems that they're learning. It seems like they're learning how to play against them. And so if they want to keep their set alive tonight, I think they're gonna really need to throw everything at them.
Yeah, and that's effectively what UT Dallas did. They threw everything they can at that tower, but no one was able to find the picks when they really needed it at that one specific point. They had so many members go down to the Splash up on that house area, just shooting in one spot on the tower, and that's just a smart play from the Splash of the side of Vermillion Tides. Shoot in one spot because you know they're going to have to go up the tower at that place.
Oh. We're gonna cool it down a bit by going to Rainmaker Mincemeat Metalworks, but honestly, if I'm on UT Dallas, I would keep that Flingza. I would keep that Flingza roller because it has provided so much that last game, and Tenta missiles are so good on a map like Mincemeat where there are a lot of tight corners and tight corridors, where if you're not careful and you're by your teammate when they use when the opposing team use missile, try not to die try not to die in the crossfire.
But now the question really is this really going to slow down much at all? Yeah, it's mincemeat, but it's also Rainmaker. Looking at the comps, these players have given us, the longest range we have is an Explo and Heavy. Throughout this whole entire 8 players we have in the lobby.
Honestly, this can either go one of two ways. It can either be a really bad stalemate, or one team is going to get an insane push, and the rest of the game is going to be, can the other team break through the team who has the lead and try and get it back? And if you're the side of UT Dallas, you got to think to yourself, can we could do this, but how are we going to do this? You know, we've seen their comps before. I think you should probably just bring the Clash Blaster again. The Trizuka can probably provide a lot of wonders, considering there's a lot of open areas you could just start picking people off, but you're going to need to think real deep about this one.
Yeah, so, like, if you're UT Dallas, you have to be smart about what you want to do here. You have your blob, which is honestly a really good weapon for this map. Again, it's very narrow, like Eel Tail, a little bit wider out the further you go, but it's such a narrow mid, and you have to pass through that every single time you want to make a push.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what both of these teams bring. On the side of UT Dallas, we see a sploosh. But on the side of Vermillion Tides, we see that Splatana Stamper accompanied by double splash and a T-Tech. Oh my goodness.
Keep an eye on spam with that sploosh. That's a Neo sploosh as well. You have beacons, you have that killer whale, and that could be what breaks the stalemate. No anchors outside of the longest range in this match, being the Splatana Stamper and flings a roller for each respective team.
To go down on the side of Vermillion Tides, it looks like UT Dallas can hopefully grab the Rainmaker, but it looks like they're just playing this a little bit patiently. They want to make sure they make no mistakes, but the Flinzer goes down. But UT Dallas just grabs the Rainmaker anyways. They go 3 down. The last one's a Sploosh. Even though one's down on the Vermillion Tides, if you're the Sploosh, you gotta push back. You're getting pressured by the Stamper, and it looks like Vermillion Tides just might get the checkpoint right here if UT Dallas isn't careful.
They grab the Rainmaker, they're making the push, but the blob is there to shut that down. 3 down on the side of Vermillion Tides. UT Dallas trying to make a push back into mid here. Splash ends up going down, and that was one of the last people alive too for this Vermillion Tides team. Tri-Strike ready for Czar, and how much will that really help out in this moment? Especially if the missiles find a pick there. Crab Tank, so much pressure. Splash ends up going down. It's only the Crab Tank user left alive, and we are in a little bit of a stalemate here. This first checkpoint is going to be crucial for whoever gets it first.
Yeah, I'm surprised UT Dallas just didn't start running faster. I mean, there's so much going on right now. It looks like 3 go down on the side of Vermillion Tides. It looks like they might get this checkpoint if the T-Tech can find the last guy. And he does, and they break through the checkpoint. The Splatana, all of the players are respawning right now. And it looks like UT Dallas might get some extra credit on this check. And it looks like they do. They get to 46. And now, if you're Vermillion Tides, not only do you need to break through the checkpoint, you also need to match 46, or you need to get through past 45. It looks like UT Dallas isn't stopping this pressure. The Sploosh, as we see, he's jumping to his mate. He's jumping to his beacon. I love that. He repositions himself better, and he has that whale ready for when Vermillion Tides tries to push. And honestly, I'm really liking the way UT Dallas is playing this right now.
Up that whale, try to help find that pick on the Stamper. Stamper is still alive, and here comes a push for the checkpoint, but Rainmaker goes down. It's only the Stamper last alive on the side of Vermillion Tides. Just trying to hide in the corner, find the pick, but unable to find anything off it. Checkpoint is saved for another day here, as UT Dallas tries to make a push, and here's Spam on the Sploosh. Ends up going down in a close quarters fight with the 10 attack. Rainmaker reset here. 2 minutes left on the clock, and this game has felt like an eternity.
I am surprised that only 3 minutes have passed. We see the Flingza putting down those ink mines. I love those ink mines. Not only are you slowing down a push from Vermillion Tides if they want to, you're also going to need to deal with constant markings for. And we see the Flingza applying so much pressure in the mid.
3 down.
Vermillion Tides last has the Stamper. He finds the Flingza, but can he find this shooter? He picks up the Rainmaker. What can he do with it? We see one trying to pressure him. He's just going to start making a dash towards the Rainmaker. 3 go down on the side of Vermillion Tides again! Vapor, how can they assemble this push? How can they assemble all those specials just to get past one checkpoint?
You need to have at least one of those crab tanks ready, and then if you can pair that up with the triple ink strike just to open up space for your Rainmaker carrier, Stamper ends up getting picked off, and that's not what you want to see. Every trade right now goes in favor of UT Dallas. 1 minute remaining on the clock, and we are heading down into the late game. Tri-Strike is getting popped. Storm out from UT Dallas as well. Blob goes down, but that's 2 down on the side of Vermillion Tides. They can't go down in situations like this. That's 3 down, and it's only the Splash player left alive, Kess. And what can they do? All they have is a Crab Tank. They need to find the Rainmaker. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Crab gets popped, but they need to find something with this. Gets shredded. Another Splash goes down, and they're not in a really good situation. That's a 3 down again!
They really tried to just jump into the mosh pit and try and find at least something. They're trying to all be heroes, but honestly, it's looking like they're all zeros right now. And this map is entirely orange, or at least Vermillion Tides looking. That didn't look right. I think we should put a PG-13 censorship over that thing. Oh my lord, that goodness. Rainmaker just got popped.
It's missiles, bombs. Every member of UT Dallas was there ready to do something to the Rainmaker once it was picked up.
It was like that one meme where everyone just started throwing everything at that one dude in the corner of the classroom. And if you're UT Dallas, pat yourselves on the back. You're now up. You now took a game. It's now 1-3. The momentum is starting to shift in your favor. You're starting to understand how Vermillion Tides works. You're starting to understand that even if they run the meta, they can't beat you and your comfort picks. As we see that these players just love to stick to the weapons that they know. And honestly, can you blame them? I think at a point, being a weapon specialist can make you play better than the current meta.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the biggest thing. You need to know your weapon, forward, backwards, left, or right, whichever way you want to know, and you could do extremely well with that. Honestly, like, you see your one tricks, like, you yourself, you're a bucket specialist. Me, I'm an explo specialist. Like, well, we do what we do best with our weapons, and if we switch off, we don't really show the same results. That's the same idea what's going on here.
Yeah, and I think if you're Vermillion Tides, I think maybe double splash isn't really the way to go. I think you should just go back to your roots. Don't try and force anything too fancy. Otherwise, it's going to come back and bite you. But we're going to Clamblitz Inkblot Art Academy, and if there was a time to run Crab, I said to go back to basics, but if you want to keep trying double Crab, I think this is the map mode to do it.
Like, you have to know what you need to do, especially with that Crab Tank. You need to know what makes Crab Tank so powerful to make it work in a team comp, and to take as much advantage as you can with the team comp.
Yeah, but on the side of UT Dallas, just keep running what you're running. It seems that it's starting to work now. You're starting to get some steam. I think, honestly, I would love to see the Clash Blaster again. I don't know if they really agree with me, but I think it's a funny pick. And on the side of Vermillion Tides, I think you should just go Splatana Wiper. Raphael has been putting in a lot of work, and I don't know if we really seen those same kinds of heights we've been able to see that last game compared to the 3 other games that Vermillion Tides won.
Yeah, Vermillion Tides, they showed off how strong they can be, but for the most part, except for that Splat Zones game, UT Dallas was able to take an early lead.
Yeah, and if you're UT Dallas, you need to think, okay guys, let's not score the power clam if we don't have any follow-up. Because all that really does is it gives the opponent a free power clam, and as we saw, they just used it against them, and so I think they're gonna need to play. If you have the power clam but no one's around you, don't try and do a hero play. It's okay to just be a team player, back up, throw the power clam if you need to, and just reposition to a favorable position, and so that when you and your mates get your specials, you could just start it back up again. Because they had so much time left on that clock that I don't really think that was the greatest decision to make, but now that you know, I think it's time to implement those changes. Oh, and as we see here, the heavy. What do you think of these comps, Raver, honestly? And so it looks like the heavy's pressuring that far right area, and it looks like UT Dallas is just down right now, but Vermillion Tides is also down. We see the T-Tech being so aggressive right now. They find one. Vermillion Tides is starting to gain control of mid, and honestly, oh, but the Wiper goes down. But Vermillion Tides has so much map mid control. That means they automatically control the clam economy. But 2 go down outside of UT Dallas. But Vermillion Tides doesn't even have power clam yet. I don't know if they're communicating a proper give me some clams so I can make a power clam, but we see the crap from UT Dallas. I think that was a great opportunity to push, but Vermillion Tides just didn't have the work ready.
Yeah, but Vermillion Tides, they have the pressure that they need right now, but they just can't find a way to get those clams when they need it. Here comes a rush up. That is a trade throughout. Power clam built for UT Dallas here. That's still evened up. We are about a minute and a half into this game. Here comes that Kraken, and watch out for any rush up from behind. Kraken able to find one, able to find another with the roller. No other clams are able to follow up for the moment, but trying to sneak a few in from the ramp, unable to score those, just out of range.
Once again, I don't really know if I agree with that sort of thing, because now Vermillion Tides has 20 clams. They used their hammer early, but also they don't really have any more pushing specials. But one goes down on the side of UT Dallas. But one goes down on the side of Vermillion Tides. Two go down on the side of on each side. We see, oh my goodness, this crack on roller is going insane. He's holding down the fort. This heavy is forced to push back to the right, but they're not pushing all the way back to the plat, and he's gonna get punished for that. And now UT Dallas is now in control of mid, which means they're under control of the clam economy, but the Kraken's pushing up a bit too early than I would have liked, because they don't even have anything close to a power clam.
Yeah, Heavy's able to shut down that roller after the Kraken expires, but UT Dallas is just right there, but unable to find anything. Here comes Vermillion Tides. Back up, pushing up. Roller finds the pick on the Heavy, but the Wavebreaker is out. Trying to find any marks where they can. Roller ends up going down, but it's only the Blob, last one alive. And they're so far out of play where they can't really do anything except to let the members of this team score. UT Dallas is just falling just short, and Vermillion takes the lead by 1 clam.
This Heavy isn't pushing back. He wants blood, and he found the splash. That is a crucial part to... And so I think Vermillion Tides hasn't even lost mid with the way the Heavy was playing so aggressively. it allowed them to just come back in, and UT Dallas was just playing that a bit too passively. If you see 3 down, you should push back into mid, but be aware of the heavy. But now the heavy's pushing onto them, and it looks like they're not even leaving the plat. The heavy found one. He's gonna keep on going, except when the crack on roller comes back in, and I think that's gonna be a crucial part, getting that crack on roller. But you also need that power clam for the Kraken clam combo to work. But on the side of Vermillion Tides, you still have a power clam ready. And but you guys lose it. But there's also one on the left, and if you just keep playing the strong defense, I think the set can be yours.
Oh, that's a 3 down on the side of UT Dallas. They need to find a way to push in, but it's going to be Vermillion Tides instead. Down to 48 and more. Getting even more clans, 45 remaining for Vermillion Tides. They're opting to back up a little bit. Give a little bit of space to UT Dallas for their life. But the Wiper ends up going down. Blob from the side finds the pick on the heavy. It's only the Splash last alive and they get picked off. That's a delayed wipe. You need to be able to find a way to push in. And here comes that Kraken. Watch out for any jumps or clearing out space. That's 2 down of Vermillion Tides, and this is the chance for UT Dallas. But they missed the power clamp. Are they able to grab it? It's just out of range. No, it's not. They're just in range. But they still need to find a way to get more points in on the board. It's only Splash last alive, and they end up going down. The bubble isn't going to help because there's no more jumps, and that is going to be game.
That was heartbreaking. The power clam miss, and then you pick it up too late, which allows all the members that once were down on Vermillion Tides to come back and clean up. As we saw, Raphael, the man of the hour, just kept on making so many great plays, and he managed to stop the push at the end. If you're Vermillion Tides, you should honestly be really thankful that they missed the power clam. And it looks like we are getting word on high that even though the set has ended in the favor of Vermillion Tides 4-1, both teams have agreed to play all 7. So it looks like, Vapor, we're going to be commentating for a bit longer.
Yeah, I'm always up for some more action, especially over here. This is the easy job, you know. How are these people doing? And let's just see what happens heading forward to zones on Mahi Mahi Resort next up.
Yeah, and you know, before we start the game, I'd really just love to shout out, you know, both Raphael on the side of Vermillion Tides, but also Silly.mp4. Their roller play has been so impressive. The way they were able to get those plays on Eel Tail, especially, even though UT Dallas lost. If you're Silly, you should be patting yourself on the back for your amazing play tonight, even though you lost the set.
But these teams, they have their playmaker players, but it's just being able to follow up with your playmakers to find those huge pushes. And Vermillion Tides have just been doing that a little bit better each and every game at specific points. And it's those points are the most crucial throughout this whole set.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd love to see some more experimental comps coming out. I'd love to see like some more super chumps, some more Kraken. I'd love to see that crack on roller, you know, especially since that Kraken has been making at the end of game 5, it looks like they actually found a lot of picks. So, you know, honestly, I think if you just keep putting a bit more time into crack on roller, especially, you could become a menace on a lot of maps.
Yeah, you really can, and that's the biggest thing with roller. You are so strong in close range, especially with your one-shot kill. And with that crack on roller, you have beacons, and you also have that Kraken itself. Just being able to move in whenever you want, and that's going to be something to look out for, especially in zones. If there's a Kraken that gets behind you, you have to watch out for those super jumps.
And as we see this crack on roller, but we also see another crack on roller on the side of Vermillion Tides, along with double splash. Raphael on that signature Splatana wiper. And it looks like, honestly, not a lot has changed. We see a Neo Splash-O-Matic, but other than that, it just kind of looks like your average game. But two go down on the side of, three go down on the side of UT Dallas, and the last one's this crack on roller. Let's see if they are able to work under pressure.
It seems like they're deciding to play a little bit patient here, and unable to find a way to push up, or just opting not to move up any further than mid. They're just playing with this hot zone right now. Here comes that Kraken, able to find one, almost finding two through that crab tank armor, but that zone is going to flip a little bit longer, and this zone is just hard stuck in the favor of this team.
Yeah, silly. Once again, they found the pick onto the splash, and it looks like two down on the side of UT Dallas, but ooh, silly almost got killed by that hammer. And they're just trying to hold their ground as desperately as they can. We see the Splatana Wiper trying to aggressively push up, and it looks like they have another Kraken already. Again! And it looks like they're going to start pushing into mid again! But will they find the picks? They find one! They find two! Let this happen! Oh, and they find one more! They find three!
They find two with the Kraken, and they find the third with the main weapon after it expires. Honestly, that's a really good for a roller. Able to find, like, as a Slayer going 2 for 1, always super important. Here comes that hammer, finds the pick, and that's going to be a full wipeout actually on the side of UT Dallas. Who else but Raphael is just up there trying to keep that pressure along the side.
Yeah, it's always Raphael. And we see the crab tank from the far left, making sure that no one comes in from the far left, but one goes down. Wait, was that the crab? Wait, no, that wasn't the crab. That was a different splash. But as we see UT Dallas getting ready to push back into the zone with those trip strikes. And it seems that there's two Krakens in the zone. They're battling it out. Oh my god. I don't know if I want to keep looking at that. We see the splash going into mid. They find the roller, and because of the roller dying, they painted the zone, but it immediately flips back into the side of Vermillion Tides. And this is a very, very fun to watch back and forth game.
Just chill here, play for special. You're already here in mid. You have that crab tank ready. Get set up on this right side, and you could just hit from far. Look at those bomb shots from this crab, finding two, just two pure bomb shots, able to find them. The bubble trying to help out. Splash finds it, and another. That's a full delayed wipe. Junior goes down as well. It's only the splash, and this clock is ticking down. Vermillion Tides trying to close this out here. The Tri-Strike's trying to say something about it, though. Able to trade out there. Vermillion Tides holds the zone, getting back in just fast enough right before the flip.
Yeah, and Vermillion Tides, the splash, able to lock that down in order for his teammates to come back in and start helping him out. I think, wow. And if you're Vermillion Tides right now, you gotta feel really good. You win the set, and you also win the extra game. Honestly, if you're Vermillion Tides, you could probably ride this out of group stage and probably into the final bracket, where you will go far if you just keep up this kind of teamwork and play like this.
Mm-hmm. And now, Game 7 coming up. This is the last match of this set. Stay tuned for after, because we do have more action coming up. But look at Game 7. Tower Control, Manta Maria.
Yeah, I really don't know what else to say. I haven't really experienced Splatoon 3 Manta as much to know what's really good, but honestly, who cares what's good? These teams are playing so well on each and every map. It looks like we might see just some more crack on rollers. We might see a Flingza instead, but honestly, Kraken, really funny special.
Yeah, but we've all seen those Twitter clips with Kraken on that tower. Just press that B button after all, and you'll be free to go. It's just which way will the tower go after those Krakens expire?
Yeah, and I feel like besides Raphael of Vermillion Tides and Silly.mp4 of UT Dallas, these other players are also doing very, very well, and it's such a shame that we don't really see their perspectives as much, but honestly, both of these teams deserve a round of applause, and obviously we frequently discuss Raphael and Sully.mp4, probably the two MVPs of the night, but as the night winds down and this is the last game, are we going to see super sweaty action, or are we just going to see some teams just having fun?
I mean, we do see a Carbon come out this time around, and it looks like that this is going to be more of an experimental round for these two teams. Clash Blaster Carbon Roller combination coming out from UT Dallas, a little bit light on the paint, but we'll see if they make it work, especially against the Tri-Slosher and Heavy Splatling on the side of Vermillion Tides. On this stage, those are probably two of the strongest weapons.
Yeah, and one goes down inside of Vermillion Tides, but honestly, Vermillion Tides are the ones, even if they go one down, they're gonna keep pushing. Two go down on the side of Vermillion Tides. I think that's the point where like, oh wait, hold on, and it looks like they get the UT Dallas gets the wipeout. Honestly, you thought Silly on the Flingza or the Crack-On Roller was scary? Get ready for Silly with the weapon that can kill you. Like, before you could even say, uh-oh, it's Silly.mp4. You see Silly with the Trizuka coming out. Two go down inside UT Dallas. Oh no! We have another victim to Silly's blood.
Oh my god.
Oh, chill out, Silly, please. These people have family. Oh
my god. That's a delayed quad right there, and there's a 5-piece as well. The Wiper is sharking around somewhere. Zuka's ready to go. Here comes that Zuka trying to find the pick on the player on the Graves, but ends up going down. We're not even paying attention to the objective at this point, and it almost passed that third checkpoint. We're just about a minute and a half into this game, and this tower's already at 10 remaining.
I love Silly.mp4. Say it with me, chat. I love Silly.mp4. We see the tactical being placed down, but if the tower can destroy this tactical, but we see the Tri-Slosher getting a really nice angle on the bunker wall, picking off that Clash Blaster, and we see Vermillion Tide's about to pass checkpoint. Who is that? Oh, it's Silly.mp4.
Silly's just going wild tonight on these rollers. Finding a pick onto that 10 attack, popping that Zuka, finds another that's 3 down on the side of Vermillion Tides, and who else? It's Silly, the playmaker of UT Dallas right now, just using the paint that their teammates are supplying and able to shark right in, find those picks all the time. Carbon pushing up through the street, trying to find a pick on the Heavy as well, but ends up going down to the Heavy itself. It's only the Blob Blast alive for UT Dallas. They end up getting picked off, splash out of spawn, but advantage Vermillion Tides in this matchup because Tower's already back in mid, but they need to push past the second checkpoint and almost through that third checkpoint.
Do you truly have an advantage of Silly MP.mp4s on the field? I don't think so. The Clash Blaster picks one. The Tri-Slosher and Tentacles is still on the tower. And we see Silly, please. Silly is just the star of the show. Raphael, who honestly, Silly.mp4 may have lost the set, but they have won our hearts tonight.
Hey, we enjoy what we see. Tri-Strike's ready to go for the splash here, trying to make a play, unable to find the pick on the try, and it's going to be Dino just playing around this left side, trying to push up, help out Raphael up front. Here comes that hammer, finds one pick, Tacticooler ready to go, Blob is weak, ends up going down, Cooler's picked up, it's only the Carbon last alive! Where the heck is this Carbon? As everyone else is pushing up, Carbon ends up going down, second checkpoint has dropped, and this is where things can get dangerous. This is the snowball point for this map. And this tower is slowly moving forward a little bit time. Carbon on tower, finds 2, ends up going down. This lead is going to flip. Third checkpoint has dropped. Dino's on this tower, rushing towards the end, and gets the knockout.
Dino's dead corpse managed to push the tower, the small millimeter it needed to get the knockout. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think the only reason Vermillion Tides won that set is because Silly.mp4 just allowed them to. It's Silly's world and we're just living in it. But honestly,
that was really
showing
strong
from the two teams.
That was a really strong showing from these two teams. We are getting word that we are actually going to have a quadruple header tonight. Match was slightly delayed. We're going to sneak one in right here before the next one. So stay tuned for that. Mewtwo, where can the viewers find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at DARealMew, MEW, and the number 2. I will be changing my bio to ilovesilly.mp4, and I advise everyone else do the same. If you have seen this tonight, Vapor, where can they find you?
You guys can find me over on Twitter and Twitch, or even almost any other social at V4P0R_SPL. We'd like to thank you guys for watching CCA. This is only the second set of 4 tonight here on CCA. This is week 2 of season 3. Stay tuned.
Outbreak.